So, what is the best key to play in? I think it's E or A or D or G. So, if you are gambling on what is the key of a typical guitar based song, gamble on E, A, D, or G. E, A, D, G. Key of E, key of A, key of D, key of G. But I've noticed some younger musicians don't care about that at all. I suspect maybe they're influenced by video game music and never really noticed the old uh, classic rock, or they're kind of trying to get away from the classic rock, AC/DC, Motley Crue, Jimi Hendrix, or whatever crap they were bombarded by when they had to ride with their dad in the car for since they were born. They're like, I don't want to hear no AC/DC. I want to hear, video game stuff in E flat, which I don't really know any of that music, but so I think it might be a generational thing. I grew up, learning by ear and just listening to, I could hear the resonance of an open A or an E or a D or a G string, and it made it really easy to just identify any song quickly and play along. And, I suppose everybody learns a little differently. That's why I like those keys. But you should be able to play in like E flat and get used to that and think, enjoy it. It's really fun. So I play a little game with my students where I'm like, let's turn on the radio and dial in a station that's going to play some indie music that I probably haven't heard, or a lot of new music. I'm like, I'll tell you what key the song is, and I'll listen and I go, oh yeah. And I'll hear that C major sound like maybe C, A minor, F, G, or something repetitive, C, G, D minor, F, or something that, 1, 6, what is it, 4, 5, or whatever the common thing is, like a repeat, repeat, repeat. What was that? 1, 5, 6, 4. That's the kind of like Taylor Swift chord progression. It's easy, man. Real easy. But you just got to be able to hear the resonance of that key. Oh, man. Speaking of that, I had a guy come in and record with me. I might have told this story already, but he came in to record an album. His first song was like a... and it repeated. I'm like, good. And then he did the drums and bass. Okay, we're done. And then the next day he comes in to record, and his next song was something like or whatever, based on those chords. I'm like, sounds good. And the next day he comes in to record a song, and it was like repeat, repeat. And he did the drums and bass and vocals. I'm like, killing it, man. It went on day after day. I'm like, you're blowing my mind, dude. It's all good. And eventually, after a few songs, I go, that sounds familiar. It sounds kind of like your other song. And I think he got a little mad right there. I'm like, I'm sorry, Tiger. It's cool. But he's like, no, it's different. See, I got this thing right here. Yeah, I saw that. I know. It's okay. Whatever, man. At least he was playing in different keys, but it was the same chord progression. And it's a popular chord progression. So, the capo is cool. It's a good tool. I don't totally knock it, but if you rely on it too much and never learn your bar chords like an E flat, I guess there's a few E flats. That's just a couple. You could do this. Eesh. it can be a little uncomfortable, but maybe learning more key. Be ready to play in B flat, A flat, E flat. What other more? I probably missed a couple. G flat, F sharp, G flat. That's a good key for rock and roll. But try to recognize those open strings E, A, D, G. That's your clue for what key the song might be in. That's what allows me to jump in and play. And did I finish the story about the radio thing where we turn on the radio and I'm like, you can. It's almost like cliches, like that C sharp minor sound. It's got a very resonant sound. That chord really jumps out at me. Those you can recognize. Or something like. That screams the key of E major to me because of those open strings and the voicings and just the patterns that people have used in hundreds and hundreds of songs that you can just boom, you can recognize that signature sound quickly. But I'm not here to tell you what's the best key, really. You can play whatever key you want, but if you only play in the key of A or E, try to expand. Hopefully you can do all 12 keys, and just get a chord book or work on your circle of fourths and fifths, and you'll get better at it. It just takes a little bit more listening and practice. You got it. Have fun.